Thank you to Taro Wolf for their generous donation on Patreon. Hello everyone, my name is Vivian and welcome to the first episode of the very newly released first for everything of Burrows. I gotta say right off the bat, love the aesthetic here. I briefly saw the mention of the 1920s in the itch description. Link to that is in the description, by the way. And I didn't read it because I like to read these things blind. First time for everything. A first time for the first build of the first blah, blah, blah. And I can totally see that here. Very detective vibes. Very, Spencer Tracy style. Fucking love it. But yeah, as with any and all developing games that I am playing, games that are not finished, which is the vast majority of the games I play, even if they've been released or not. Pokemon Puzzle League. Nah, Pokemon Puzzle League was pretty much finished. Pokemon Stadium was the one that was not finished. As it says down below, not a representation of the final product. Changes will be coming in future updates. So bear that in mind when making any judgments as to the quality and or quantity of accuracy, blah, 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 blah. Let's go ahead and get started. In the first day of the first build of the first, wow. Starting right off in the Hooverville. Well, no, Hoover was the 30s. Ooh, this is pre-Hooverville, ain't it? The wet mud squelches under my paws as I make my way through the unpaved streets of the 9th Ward. I hold my shoes in my free hand, careful to keep them clean. I take care not to step on any of the broken bottles littering the street, courtesy of the locals. I guess I'd be considered a local now by most, although I never really fit the bill. Another reason this needs to be done tonight. Oh, it's raining! Nice. Also, shout out to the dev on this one, now that we've got rain going in the background, as well as my vent and my dryer, because audio quality, that's what we come here for, audio quality. There was a disclaimer at the front of this game for sensitive topics that can be distressing to some, so this is not going to be a light game, and if topics like that, basically, all the same warnings you're going to get out of a game like Echo, you got it here. I doubt that this is going to be the same as Echo, don't get me wrong, but the same kind of warnings about trauma and suicide, mental health difficulties, sexual problems. So bear that in mind. In addition, there is also a thing you can turn off, rapid graphic stuff for anyone who has photosensitivity. So I have turned that off because you never know who's watching, and if someone who has a photosensitivity like tunes into episode 3 and I haven't turned it off, then they might not know about it, and it's a whole thing. So out of safety for everyone involved, I have done that. But when you play, if you do not have a photosensitivity, you can turn that filter off. But shout out to the dev for making that a thing regardless. So good for them. It starts raining. Hard. Adults quickly duck inside while children scream and play in the newly formed puddles. A brave few shrug off the abrupt storm and continue drinking under the safety of their porch overhangs, waving their bottles at me as if to make a toast. I mimic the motion in return, noticing the shoes in my hand are now completely soaked. Ooh, who is you? I chuckle to myself. Since no one new has been mentioned in the dialogue, I think it is safe to assume that this is our main character. Looks to be a possum. Got a 3-leaf clover on the lapel. Could signal that this is an Irish immigrant. The 1920s was, there was still a lot of immigration problems from Europe. You know what was building up around that time. So a lot of people trying to get the fuck out of there. So we might have ourselves an Irish immigrant. I'm not going to throw an accent at him unless it's blatantly said. And even still, I'd probably tune it down because my accents are shit. But here we are. I chuckle to myself. When God decides to take a piss where you're standing, there's not much to be done about it. Something my grandmother used to say, but in that raspy Irish. Hey, look at me looking at that context clue. Something my grandmother used to say, but in that raspy Irish brogue that added warmth to even the oddest idioms. The section of New Orleans, without paved roads, seemed perpetually waterlogged, leaving a distinct sulfurous odor on anything or anyone that walked through them. It was actually pretty dangerous to walk on them right after a rainstorm. Tiny air pockets can create sinkholes that'll catch you off guard if you step too hard on them. A little girl runs by in a mud-stained dress, laughing playfully as her mother closes in with a towel stretched out like a fishing net. I'm reminded of all the times me and the old gang would sneak into the city to play with our secret friends here, not caring if our new clothes got dirty in the mud. We wait for a carriage to cross by in the hayfield and jump onto the back, picking up other kids along the way. Sam would usually miss the jump and plod behind, out of breath and useless by the time we got into town. Me, Eddie, and Charles Emerson Winchester would play soldiers, while Sam, Jules, and Simone would stay behind and make us mud pie rations. Simone, that's a name that needs to be used more. That's a good name. One time, Etienne and I climbed up to the rooftops and pretended to fence with sticks until the sun went down. If Jules hadn't pulled me down, I doubt I would have remembered to go home. Simone always looked so glum when we had to leave. I then remembered the beatings that would usually follow these outings. Jules would try to take the blame, being the oldest, but the adults never bought it. We'd all go to bed hungry and with sore bottoms, pretending to feel bad, but stifling laughter under our sheets, perfectly pleased with ourselves. It was hard not to laugh when the governess pretended to scold us in front of our parents, making goofy faces at us all the while. Oh shit! A crash to my left breaks me out of my reminiscing. Some cat's been flung ass over tea kettle down the steps of a pub by the gruff-looking security guard. Any pain's hardly reflected by his dazed expression, and I could smell the reek of liquor on his breath as he locks eyes with me. As I pass by, he graces me with that toothy jack-o'-lantern grin that's so distinctive of felines as he scampers off to find another haunt. His determination is almost admirable. I fucking love the thematic fucking text box here. Very Art Deco style. Very 1920s, man. You sell your fucking premise, goddammit. It's great. You know what? This whole thing would be so much easier with a few drinks in my system. Maybe that cat's got the right idea after all. I glance back at the pub. Despite the government's best efforts, prohibition in New Orleans never really stuck. People either brought their own from home, or their owners kept it hidden away in their cellars. Bathtub hooch and the speakeasies, and man, what a time. Horrible time. Good lord. I look through the window and see the patrons inside singing joyfully off-key, playing cards, laughing. Even the bartender was getting in on the fun. It looks too rowdy. I'm looking for a soft, quiet descent into unfeeling before it's time to go. Hey, there it is. Oh, Crazy Cats. Nice sign there. This is the fucking place, the French Quarter. There you are. I follow the river out of habit and end up in the French Quarter, walking towards the welcoming lights that dot every window and veranda. Even with heavy rain, the color and playfulness of Bourbon Street can't be dampened in the slightest. A band playing soft jazz finishes their set as I pass a nightclub, applause punctuated by the clink of glasses and murmurs of approval. I scan the area, looking for something more quiet, intimate. The rain picks up, and I wipe a few droplets off my brow with my other hand, forgetting I'd been holding a bouquet this entire time. Ooh, a bouquet. A thorn pricks me a little, and I recoil instinctively, cursing under my breath at the stupid thing. I glance at the letter hanging from the ribbon holding the bundle together, unopened and practically turned to pulp. The hell am I doing holding on to this? Suddenly, I notice a red light in the distance, setting itself apart from the sea of orange gaslit lanterns. Not the red light district. Don't go there, brah. I feel drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Uh-oh. The red is bright but gentle, leaning more towards the pink of a sweet hibiscus bloom than the blaze of real fire. Getting closer, I can see that it's actually a neon sign. Lights flickering each time a droplet hits the tubes with a sizzle. The light glows gently through the steam pouring out of the sewers below, practically covering the entire storefront. Looks ominous, a small, dimly lit space surrounded by inky black on every side. But I'm not concerned with the danger right now. I make a beeline for it. Spotting a trash can on a corner, I dump the bouquet unceremoniously and walk up to the building. The sign's fully visible now. A simple rendition of a wine glass and the word bar underneath. Uncreative, but honest. Better yet, I don't hear the cacophony of typical of a fully occupied club. Not even music? This is perfect. Oh, he looks happy to see it. Ooh, look at you moving around the screen like a fucking house on fire. I walk up to the doorway, using what little cover's available to get some relief from the rain. I lean up against the door, trying to wring some of the excess water out of my shirt, to no avail. Oh well, I guess it won't matter. Besides, whoever owns the joint can't expect a dry customer with weather like this. I shrug and walk inside, a tiny bell chiming to signal my entry. Oh, hey, look at this swanky place with the poker tables and a long-ass bar, stage to the side, and chandeliers on top. Lovely, 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 lovely. There isn't a chair in this place that I could fit in. The inside is wildly different than I expected from its humble exterior, looking more like a high rollers lounge than a speakeasy. There are tables for billiards and poker in the back, and cigarette dispensers lining. There are tables for billiards and poker in the back, and cigarette dispensers lining the walls. Tending the bar is a tall, portly rabbit wearing a well-tailored suit. He hums to himself while drying some freshly washed glasses. He'd be totally unremarkable if not for the strange leather mask covering his face and ears. Makes his otherwise cuddly appearance a little sinister, very Mick Foley-esque. Mick Foley's an adorable man until he smiles and or dons the mankind mask. He notices me making a wet spot by the door and waves me over with a friendly grin. Shaw's coming down out there, ain't it? Sure is. He speaks in that slow, charming Louisiana drawl I grew to love after moving here. Oh, okay, again, my accent's a shit. I'm sorry. He gestures for me to come sit, and I trot over, my soaking wet paws making audible plopping on the hardwood floors. Bunny doesn't seem to mind the potential property damage and smiles as I awkwardly squeeze into one of the vinyl-covered bar stools. The feeling of my damp ass against the grippy seat sends a shiver of displeasure up my spine. I shake it off and look at the rabbit, who's staring back expectantly. Anything I can get you, sir? Can you make me a gimlet? What the hell is a gimlet? I don't drink much. I don't know. But of course, coming right up. Damn, all the movement, I love it. I'm also noticing the clovers on his thing, but that also could be that's more likely on his lapel there, could be more like a Saint's Cross type of deal. He starts shuffling, a fleur-de-lis. That would be a very, very subtle fleur-de-lis. He starts shuffling around behind the counter, and I take a better look at him now that I'm up close. He's husky for sure, and there's a power underneath that cage of fluff. I can tell from the way he effortlessly shuffles bottlenecks through his fingers as if they weighed nothing. I imagine it simply comes with the job in this part of town. He occasionally looks back at me, clocking my stares. I expect at least a glimmer of disgust, the kind of homophobic recoil I've grown used to. But he's still pleasantly smiling at me. With a gentle pour, he finishes my drink, complete with a gold-rimmed cocktail glass and lime wedge. It looks amazing. Please enjoy. Thanks. I take a slow sip, letting the alcohol linger on my tongue for a few seconds before I gulp it down. After the tingling in my throat subsides, I relax my shoulders, feeling calm for the first time in days, maybe weeks. Let's go over everything one more time, just to be sure. First, I'll find the note on my pad. Oh, God. Oh, they warned us. They warned us. I'm sure Simone will be mostly confused. Attain will be angry. Neither will believe it. I'm telling what Jean will say. Either way, they'll probably try looking for me right away. Either way, they'll probably try looking for me right away. I'm gonna head east, find some tall trees well away from the roads, and then... Oh, God. I look up and notice the bartender staring intently at me. I guess I got lost in thought. Thoughts been troubling you? Yeah, you could say that. I'm not keen on bearing my soul to a random barkeep, friendly or not. Oh, naturally. A solemn little possum slinking out of his den to drink his problems away, and on a night like this, you'd have to be down on your luck. The fuck kind of look is that? The big old smile and the squinted eyes looking tired, I don't know. I'm not sure about that mask either. I don't get... Something's off. I don't know. Dots. Well, I won't pry. A man has his reasons. But please, don't hesitate to let me know if I can help ease whatever's ailing you, sir. I take great pride in pleasing my patients, rain or shine. Did I say patients? Patrons. Jesus Christ, this ain't a hospital. Or a hospital for the soul. I don't know. Rain or shine. Yeah, right. As if this is a problem that can be simply swept away. I glance over at the game tables once again. Wonder if this is his way of convincing people to waste their money on them. Would you be interested in a game or two, perhaps? Bingo. Sorry, not my vice. And what, if I may ask, is... Booze, sex, or running away? Well, that's a fucking loaded set of choices there. Well, we do know that he said running away was kind of his part of his plan. Booze, if one sip of a drink was enough to make him feel relaxed for the first time in weeks. Obviously, he doesn't drink much. He's barely mentioned anything even related to sex at all other than a preference. So I guess running away is the only thing. I guess we'll go with that. I guess I just don't want to deal with my problems anymore. I tried to do what was expected of me. I tried to go against everything I was taught to believe. I tried to repair the broken bridge between me and the people I cared about. I got shamed, rejected, used. Simone just looks at me like a fragile little egg that could break at any moment. Jean only sees me as a tenant. Lord knows he's given me more chances than most in Attain. He just sees me as a mistake. He keeps letting him stick his... Jesus. Oh boy. I stopped myself, almost let something dangerous slip to a total stranger. God, the fucking music in this game is incredible. Is the alcohol catching up to me? I only had one drink. It pains me to see you going through so much strife. It really does. And why are you smiling? Because he knows he's going to get something out of you. No bartender looks this fucking fancy, is that overweight, especially at this time of day, working this level of establishment with so few patrons without there being something else going on. I do not trust this gimp-looking motherfucker. It's nothing. Forget I said anything. Really. I rest my face on my hands and sigh. I didn't feel any better after saying all that out loud. Maybe it was someone who actually mattered. A slight sting as my fingers pass over the scratch from those roses. Suddenly I remember. If someone named Christine comes looking for me, can you give her this for me? Tell her I won't need it where I'm going. Takes the ring. Oh, shit. Shit. He takes the ring in his large paw and inspects it before pocketing it and nodding. Yeah, you ain't getting that back. If it'll put your mind at ease. It actually does, in a way. That was the final preparation. While it doesn't completely wipe away the guilt, there are no more strings left untied. That is, if you could indulge me in a simple gamble. Yeah, and the fucking thunderclap. Oh, God, I rolled my eyes. I already told you he stops me and holds a hand out, rolling a gold coin across his knuckles. It's nothing like that. Just a simple coin toss. Now he's kind of smirking a little bit. Oh, God. Think of it as a good omen towards your travels. I mean, where he's traveling. Before I can protest, he flicks the coin into the air, catching the light and glimmering as time seems to slow for a moment. He catches it with the same hand and slams it flat on the desk, all in one swift motion, a trick he's likely done hundreds of times before. Call it. Oh, God, I'm getting No Country for Old Men vibes. Oh, God. I swear to God, if I say, if our intrepid possum here says, I need to know what I stand to win, and that motherfucker responds with, everything, now call it, I'm gonna fucking run. Heads or tails? Now, I'm gonna fucking be a douche here for a second. I'm gonna save here, and we obviously have no idea what it could be. I'm gonna say tails. A choice befitting of a man like you. What the fuck? Lifts his hand and reveals heads. Okay, now, out of curiosity, what happens if we say heads? Heads. You would pick that. He lifts his hand and reveals tails. Yep, see, we're gonna lose no matter what, so we might as well go with the one we chose first. Oh, man. Yeah, so we lose no matter what. And you didn't even ask what you're gambling for before you said, what the fuck? God damn it. That random old dude in that gas station in the middle of buttfuck nowhere had more sense than you and what to gamble for, and this motherfucker looks scarier than Anton. I slumped my shoulders. Now what? Shame you didn't place anything on it. But didn't anyone tell you, son? Bets are best made when you already know you've won. But lucky for you, I'm feeling generous today. All I ask of you is one simple task. Fair enough. What is it? Nothing about this is actually fair, but who am I to argue with a 500-pound bunny? At least I'm not that heavy yet. He reaches under his collar and pulls out a blank playing card. Slides it across the counter to me, grinning coyly, keeps it pressed down in front of me for an uncomfortably long time, almost as if to make sure I know it's not a normal card. I nod and he pulls his hand back, going back to polishing that perpetually dirty glass. Just keep that on you for the time being. There's someone you have to give it to. Who? Oh, you'll know him when you see him. Trust me. Okay, then. Well, I might as well oblige. This could be the last person I talk to. He gestures towards the door before facing away from me, tending to his bar. Sounds like it calmed down out there. Better get going before all hell breaks loose again. He was right. It was suddenly very quiet. Even the sounds of people and cars were strangely absent now. It was still pitch black out, maybe even more than before. It's been nice. You can call me Virgil, sir. Hope to see you again. Yeah, I don't see that happening, as fun as that sounds. Right. I'll be going now, Virgil. And there we go. Oh, God. What the hell? I get up and head for the door. Even though I want to leave, I feel a sinking pit in my stomach. Like something awful is waiting for me on the other side. I've already made up my mind. There's no point in pussyfooting around this. I march towards the door defiantly. I get about halfway before my legs feel heavy. As if I'm wearing sandbags around my ankles. I almost fall from the sudden resistance, but I take a deep breath and keep pushing. The room almost seems to stretch away from me. I try to look behind me, but the point of view of the room refuses to change, fixed at one point like a painting. Either this is paranormal or we got drugged, goddammit. I suddenly feel the intense glare of a predator burning in my blind spot. Virgil? Goodbye, Gray. A primal sense of dread makes me turn back around as I sprint towards the door, ignoring the burning in my thighs from what feels like lifting hundreds of pounds with each step. The hallway keeps stretching an impossible distance, but I can't stop moving, not with that thing behind me. My knees turn to jelly and I collapse. I can barely catch my breath. My heart is beating out of my chest. What the hell is going on? Did he put something in my drink after all? Am I gonna die here like this? No, not like this. On my terms. I grab the dirty carpet and pull myself off the floor. The door seems to have stopped moving away, almost seeming to do so out of pity, the bastard. I start crawling, pain shooting through my knees each time they come down. Tears are burning down my face as I resist the urge to vomit. Time loses all meaning as I pathetically inch forward. Darkness fades into the sides of my vision. The idea of blacking out is sounding better and better by the second, but I can't. Something is telling me not to give in. I feel something burning against my leg, something in my pocket. I take another deep breath, gathering all my remaining energy for one final dash. The shadows in the room seem to warp into exaggerated shapes as I lean forward into a sprinting position. Gravity on me is suddenly released as I sail towards the door. I make contact with the knob and the room is flooded with intense red light. An impossibly loud siren blares behind me. I barely register any of it and fling the door open. The same inky black that seemed to surround the building before is now staring me in the face. I swear I can see it blink. And just like that, it's all around me. My body is violently corkscrewed into the void in front of me. All sense of direction is gone. My feet flail uselessly, searching for a solid surface. My stomach lurches, and I try not to throw up. Even though I can't see, my body knows it's upside down and it's freaking out. Organs weren't meant to be in suspended animation. My limbs are going numb. Is this... I always thought death would come quickly. I begged for it. Instead, it's slow and cruel torture, drifting helplessly as infinity passes me by. I'm given one gift: time. Time to reflect on everything. Look at this! Good Lord! Look at this, as my dog sneezes in the background. My body's entirely numb now. I don't even need to blink anymore. I feel others here in the dark with me. They drift randomly, passing through each other occasionally. Ghosts. I feel some sort of connection with them. Our bodies are gone, but our emotions extend outward like extra limbs, caressing each other gently. I ease another's pain with a pleasant memory of my own. The first time I fell in love. It's the only solace I can offer, yet somehow it's the most important thing in the world to me. This is how things should be. Why didn't I help anyone when it really mattered? I waited and waited for someone to save me and ignored what everyone else was going through. I want to try again. I need to try again. As soon as the thought crosses my mind, my drift accelerates. I must be falling. I feel warmth return to my limbs, my bones crack and pop back to life. A glowing light surrounds me and the air vibrates with friction as I pass through layers of atmosphere towards something. I brace for what has to be certain death as the ground pulls up faster and faster, but nothing. Oh man, we're in Georgia. This is worse than I thought. I'm in a grassy field dotted with yellow flowers. Dandelions, maybe? The sky is bathed in golden light. It's as if time were frozen at sunset. Crows caw in the distance, and a warm breeze sweeps over the beautiful expanse, eventually passing over me and ahead towards a familiar-looking building. The old house. The last time I saw it, I was looking back in disgust. Its former grandeur was replaced by peeling paint and rotting wood, but the house I'm looking at now is nothing of the sort. It looked as pristine and welcoming as it did when we were kids. A sudden rush of stimula? That's one I haven't heard of. After feeling frozen for so long makes me tear up with emotions. I wish we could have all played here. Not just the other plantation kids. Etane, Simone, maybe even Jean if we had known him then. Everyone deserves to experience this. I walk out towards the house and stop as I hear rustling from the tree line on either side of me. I'm still on guard despite everything. I crouch in the tall grass, hoping it's enough to conceal my presence. Unfortunately, a blade of grass finds its way up my nose and I sneeze. Loud. A moment passes and I poke my head out to see 4 figures cautiously walking towards me. A well-dressed canine in glasses carefully stepping around the flowers. A hefty shark wearing ripped clothing stumbling over the uneven ground. A panther in leather scowling at the other 3 with his arms folded. A fox so small only his ears poke above the grass, pushing his way through with worn-looking hands. My fear dissipates as they come closer. I can see how gentle their faces are. Even the feline, who's intent on looking annoyed, is clearly admiring the beauty of this place. I stand up and give them all a knowing glance, gesturing toward a flat area. We move over and sit down, the shark plopping down hard enough to cause a puff of flower petals to shoot out behind him. The wolf starts to laugh as we all follow suit as the bashful shark smiles with a toothy grin. His teeth would be intimidating if they belonged to anyone else, but I could feel his kindness radiating out of every pore. The fox clears his throat and speaks with a surprisingly loud voice, suggesting we all introduce ourselves. The panther sucks his teeth, plucking grass out of the roots with his idle hand one by one. After a moment of silence, the wolf speaks up, his deep voice rolling over my ears like warm honey. Name's Mark. I was just coming from Midtown, and that's as far as I figured out. He tells us he comes from the Big Apple and works at a museum. So he's a New Yorker, got it. The fox smiles, glad at least one of us is playing along. He brushes his big bushy tail against my leg to go next, and goes next. He said he was loud. So let me back up a little bit.
My name is Yasuhiro, but just Hiro was fine.
He's Japanese, but traveled west to do contract work with a German engineering team. I nodded as he spoke, but knew this wasn't anywhere close to Europe. Or any city, for that matter. The shark spoke up next. I don't know what, they didn't describe any voice. He sighs before continuing on, smile never fading. And then changed it to Gabriel. Wonder what that's about.
Sorry, I'm Gabriel. Nice to meet you.
He's from California and was training for his college's upcoming swim relay race. Muffled music is coming from the headphones around his neck, and he taps his fingers to the beat against his muscular thighs. So he gets a Walkman. we don't even know, we barely got sense of life, and he gets a fucking Walkman. Nice. Another moment of silence passes before Hero jabs the panther in the ribs, glaring at him. Reluctantly, he gives us the shortest summary yet, never looking at any of us in the eyes. Name's Ken. I'm a cyclist. That's it. Cool. Everyone seems satisfied with that answer, leaving only me. My name's Gray. I'm from Louisiana, and this used to be my house. I say as I gesture towards the building behind us. They collectively scan the building top to bottom, ending at me with a puzzled look. Gabriel scratches his chin. So, do you know why we ended up here then? Mark lights a cigarette and takes a deep drag, exhaling smoke through his nostrils. Do we go with the over-exaggerated New York accent? No, we don't, because, goddammit... negative feelings, alright. He looks just as confused as the rest of us, so I doubt it. I glance over at Ken. A decent-sized pile of ripped grass sits next to him as he notices my gaze and stares daggers back. Either way, he's got to have something to do with it. I swear, if I knew, I'd tell you guys. I don't know why I'm here either. I say this, hardly believing my own logic. Hero crawls over to me and looks deep into my eyes, his little button nose only inches away from mine. Being this close, I notice how good he smells, despite his clothes being covered in dirt and machine oil. His fur smelled clean and earthy, almost medically sterile like rubbing alcohol. I don't think he's lying. He stands up, brushing grass off his trousers. And even if he was, there's not much to gain here. I sense no malice in this place. Ken's ears perked up with that last remark, and he looks interested for the first time. Yeah, me either. Mark sighs and lays down on the grass, resting his head out next to Hero's outstretched legs. As confusing as all this is, I have to admit, it's pretty nice here, ain't it? It's pretty nice here, ain't it? I take everyone's soft silence as confirmation and lay down next to Mark. The dry grass that always tickled and pricked me as a kid suddenly feels softer than any bed I've ever laid in. Mark chuckles and flicks my snoot with his ear, happy I followed his trend. Soon the others join us, laying in a circle. Hey, there they are. Here we all are. We can actually put faces to the names. So, Ken is a cyclist. It's more like a motorcyclist than a cyclist, but that's cool. We got the big buff shark man, that is Gabriel. We got Hero, which is the fox, over on the other side of us. And then we got Mark, who is this one right here, the wolf guy, from New York, but with no discernible New York accent because I'm tired of embarrassing myself. So this picture itself is on the itch page, so I have seen this, but it's nice to know at least the names of all these people, if not at all, how the hell we all are all put together in the same place. We lay for what feels like hours. Every minute feels surreal, as if we were distant friends who finally met for the first time. The conversations came quick and easy, and pretty soon even Ken was joining in, albeit less frequently. The golden light intensifies, and this feeling of serenity overtakes me. I feel tears start to well up again, and I brush them away before anyone notices. I glance over at the others and feel relieved seeing them rub their own glossy eyes. Gabriel is practically sobbing, making no attempt at concealing his emotions. Ken is more insistent on sniffling and writing it away as a bout of hay fever, but at this point, I've come to accept his stoicism as him being genuine. After another few minutes of silence, I speak up, my voice cracking a bit. I wish... I hear the rustles around me as everyone shifts to hear me better. I wish we could stay like this forever. Everyone agrees. Gabriel's starting to blubber again. Oh, the big overly emotional shark man. Well, then why do I feel so sad? He chokes through gritted teeth. Hero turns over on his stomach and pats Gabriel's shoulder. I know what you mean. I feel Ken's tail brush mine, and I glance over, seeing something that shakes me out of my cheery mood. Huh? I can see through his body. I shoot up and look back at everyone and see they're all fading away, one by one. I yell. I try to reach out to them, but I'm frozen in place. I swipe where Mark's shoulder should be, but instead, I hit the ground beneath. The final outlines of their phantom forms fade out, and all that's left are sounds of gentle sobbing. Okay, so the last time we were in a thing, and we basically wished for a thing, and that was changed us, and that's basically happening again from the looks of it. So this is a hell of a way for us to get our 3 wishes narrative. My own. The gentle sobbing, not the narrative. I'm alone again. Oh God. It's all foggy now. They looked so sad. This isn't fair. I wasn't foolish enough to believe in heaven until now, but for a brief moment, I was willing to believe in something, anything, if it meant we could stay together like this. I hunch over, sobbing into my arms, not caring about the mud soiling my sleeves or the snot running down into my whiskers. I stay like that for what must be 20 minutes, refusing to look at the spot where they once lay. I could tell the light was dimming through the cracks between my arms. The warm air was replaced by a cool, wet mist. This is how I remembered it. This is reality. My jaw aches and my eyes sting. My pants pinch my waist uncomfortably. I can't stay here, whatever this is. I reluctantly sit up and wipe my mess of a snout off with the last clean section of my sleeve when I notice something glimmering in the grass ahead. I inch closer and see a rectangle laying where Mark was before. It's a card. Well, there's the Mark card. And we had a blank card before. I wonder if ours now has a kind of Art Deco fucking theme for us, too. It's a card. What the fuck? I pick it up and turn it over, examining the intricate art. It's definitely a picture of Mark. Suddenly, I feel that same warmth in my pocket again and pull out another card. The one Virgil gave me? I'd entirely forgotten about it until now. It's almost hot at this point, radiating light and vibrating in my hand as if it were about to burst. I hold it up to the other card, and they're the same size and shape, albeit Virgil's card was blank. That is a very nice holographic fucking... Wow, are you okay? It's okay. It's a very nice holographic effect, is what I'm saying. I hear something from deep within me speak. I freeze. Some unknown thing within me is suddenly making their presence known. Its voice is deep and booming, as if it's yelling into an empty cathedral. I should be terrified, but its message is clear. Choose. Save him. Well, out of all the choices we have, let's go with save him. I take a deep breath and do whatever these mysterious forces obviously want me to do. I place the cards together in my hand. Immediately they start to glow and vibrate. I throw out my other hand to try to keep them from falling, but soon the light envelops everything around me. And I'm falling down, 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 down. Everybody's falling. Electro Cowboy, I think, was that band. I don't know.